In the past, I've been incredibly frustrated trying to rank my business on Google. And sometimes it feels just utterly desperate sometimes to know what is it you need to do to get Google to rank your business. And then you've probably experienced where you read something and think, oh, I'll try that, give that a go. And you get all your hopes up, but then it still doesn't seem to make any difference. And despite my 30 years as a web designer, it was only when I've been consulting in recent times that I've noticed that you also have been experiencing the same. But as you may have noted from this thumbnail on this video, many are just overthinking Google, and maybe it's a habit that we need to break. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to find out if you're overthinking Google, what happens if you break that habit, and 3 ways you should be approaching Google if you want to rank #1. But first, let's tackle that thought of what does it mean to overthink Google, and what's the consequences of that? Well, I think most people are unaware that they're even doing it, but we can do an experiment. If you can say yes to any of these 5 things, then I think you're overthinking Google. So take the first one, keyword stuffing. Are you ever writing articles where you're jamming in keywords, but it's unnatural, and maybe it makes the content sound unnatural too? Or maybe number 2, low quality content. It's where you're producing poor content solely to try and match a certain keyword to get traffic. Well, it's difficult to read when you then read the article or comprehend. Number 3, fake reviews. So just asking for reviews from people that haven't even done a business with you. So their reviews are irrelevant really because they don't really have an experience. Number 4, backlink purchasing. It's where you buy links to boost your authority, your business authority, your domain authority, but it's again an unnatural way of getting those links. Well, number 5, fake business creation. It's where you're generating fake businesses purely for the purpose of improving your optimization in Google. The thing is, you get the idea that none of these things are really going to give you long-term benefits. And if you've tried any of them, and there's nothing wrong with using keywords, but if it doesn't make sense, if the content's not that helpful, if it feels a bit spammy, feels you're trying to get or jam those keywords in, well then maybe you've not done it the right way. But there has been some big changes. There was a core change recently for Google. And looking at a survey I ran the other day, it seems that 58% of you have seen some changes that have been very positive, because most of the audience on this channel are trying to do things the right way with a long-term benefit. So in effect, rather than prioritizing Google, think of prioritizing your customers. And that's something we've been saying on this channel for some time now. And that's how you break the habit of overthinking Google. Because if you put too much emphasis on Google, the chances are you're eventually going to get kicked out by Google because it doesn't make sense to a natural reader. And this is really relevant right now because of this Google update we've just had. And I'll put a link in the description below to what this update includes. But as you can see here, it's all about trying to make content useful. And to help me explain how it works, the other day I had a clear out. So I cleared out my wardrobe, I cleared out some bookshelves. However, sometimes clear outs end up being a waste of time because nothing actually gets cleared out. But don't you feel better when you really clear out the clutter? When you really go for it? They say if you haven't used or worn something in the last year, then just chuck it out. So currently Google is undergoing the biggest spring clean it's ever had in its life. And here's what they're telling us is going on. They say that it's to reduce unhelpful, unoriginal content on search. They also tell us that a poor user experience, or if it feels like it's being created for search engines, they don't want to see those results. Notice also it says, we believe these updates will reduce the amount of low quality content on search and send more traffic to helpful and high quality sites. Well, that's what we're after. We want to be the high quality site that Google wants to send traffic to so that our experience for customers is a good experience and they want to do business with us. So if you haven't been keyword stuffing or resorting to buying dodgy links and reviews, well, that's a great start. But is there more you can do than just overthinking Google and avoiding those traps? Absolutely. Let's look at 3 things you can do that are going to proactively put you forward into Google's rankings. The first is just being aware that there's one thing that's never changed. It's important to local business and organic results, and it's how Google in effect decides what your business authority is. And you could think of it in terms of, say, an election where people have votes for who they want elected. Well, there's a voting system on the web, it's called citations and links, and those things never change. If you get authority links from good websites, then you're getting a vote of confidence. And when you get lots of votes of confidence, Google gains confidence and then starts to rank you. So don't underestimate the importance of backlinks and citations. But how can you use Google to help you do that? What's the shortcut? Well, the easy thing is you can go into Google and see what citations is Google ranking for your type of business. So what indexes does it use? Because if it's using them and ranking them, then clearly it has them as an authority. So you can get Google to tell you what Google likes. Remember, don't overthink Google. Google has the answers. Just go to Google, search for citations and links for your business, let Google do the thinking for you. So in this case, we can see Google is ranking these citations, and so they're likely trustworthy. So just add them and go and then add your business to them by going to add site, and then just maintain that consistency, that NAP of your business profile. It's a straightforward and effective way to build up ranking. Now the second area to consider is you can get significant traffic through having great images. But how do you know what's a good image in Google's eyes? Well, again, don't overthink it. Google will tell you. As an example, the other day I was speaking to a person that was running or managing a business for teaching languages, Spanish languages at that. And we were just discussing what would be a really good cover photo for his profile. But we didn't overthink it. We just went to Google, we did a search for that particular language, that school, we did a search for learning Spanish, and we noticed that not only was it about people, but it also had these Spanish colours on there. So Google recognises the Spanish flag, it recognises people for teaching, for instruction, for languages. The combination of that photo made it number one. Now, I'm not saying you would take that photo because that's unique to that business, but why not make your own version? Why not film in your class and have them holding that flag or something that relates to the Spanish language? And in that way then Google is telling you what it ranks, and you're now replicating something that it considers an authority. Remember again, don't overthink Google. It's pretty straightforward if you allow Google to show you what to do. And the third area is about allowing Google to just tie up some loose ends. You know, Google doesn't always trust itself, but it does like to tell you the things it's looking for to gain trust from you. So if you have a business profile and you log in there, and it suggests, do ads or go for email. Well, at the end of the day, that's part of Google trying to run a business. But sometimes there'll be things in there like update hours, or in particular at the moment, it's wanting maps on your website. Now, why? Well, it's wanting to cement your website with your business profile. And that gives confidence to Google that your website is very much the same as the one it's got on its maps, and the one that it's presenting in its ranking results for Google Business Profile and the Map Pack. And once Google's got confidence that the same business that's on YouTube is the same business that's on, say, LinkedIn, which is also the same business within all the social profiles, once it's got this big ball of understanding of your brand, it's more confident to then put your brand forward, knowing that it's relevant, and knowing that it's trustworthy, that it's an authority, because the website and your business profile and the social media, they all talk and say the same thing. Google wants to be confident that when it ranks your business, it's the business that it thinks it is, and not just making a good educated guess. So in essence, Google's requirements are straightforward. We sometimes tend to overcomplicate it. But here's the twist: just when you think that Google is now rewarding genuine businesses, it starts to just change everything. In fact, the most radical change in the history of Google is about to happen. Google is integrating AI into the search results. SGE, Search Generative Experience, is coming very soon. And so for you to rank your business, you need to understand what it is that you can do today that's going to help you be in that new layout. So if you haven't seen this video here, you need to watch it, because it's the most valuable video that's going to help you in the current climate that's about to change if you're wanting to rank in Google.